Do you have a favorite Bible story?
I like a lot of the stories in the Bible. And there are so many different kinds of stories. There are action stories.
Oh, like David and Goliath.
And suspense stories.
Well, yeah, like David and Goliath.
Well, stories of powerful people.
Well, David and Goliath.
Yeah, but there are love stories too.
Yeah, well, David and Goliath?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But I do think that my favorite story is a love story. It is the one about the Good Samaritan. I like how the whole story starts with a reminder that we are to love the Lord our God with all our hearts, with all our souls, with all our strength and all our minds. And to love your neighbor as yourself. And then Jesus told the story about the Good Samaritan to illustrate who is our neighbor. And a neighbor is one who acts in a loving way towards someone else. It all connects together so well. Do you have a favorite story?
You mean besides David and Goliath?
Yeah.
Well, I thought so. Well, I really like the story about the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. There's so much suspense and drama. I don't think I would like it nearly as much if it ended on the cross. But fortunately for us, it doesn't end there. It's a story about the resurrection, and it's a story about a new life and a love that comes shining through. That's the story I like.
The story of Jesus is what our faith is built on. And I bet we could find some people to talk to us about this story. What do you think?
You know, I think we can. And we have an instrument here that will open the whole world to us. Let's see what we can find here.
Yes, but Jesus chose a donkey. I've heard about Jesus. He's done so many great things. He's healed people. He's fed people. He taught people and prayed with people. Let's spread out our palms and give Jesus a royal welcome. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna.
I know you're jealous of all the attention that Jesus is getting, and rightfully so. As the chief priest, you should be getting all the attention and respect. What will you give me if I betray him to you?
That's a great offer, Judas. We could use someone on the inside to help us get him. I'll give you 30 silver coins up front if you'll be our informant.
Great, I'll take it. I'll be back in touch soon and let you know where he is and what he's up to.
Peter and John, you did an excellent job preparing for the Passover meal in this upper room.
I want ice cream! I want peanut butter and jelly! I want tacos as well! I want tacos! I want tacos! We don't have enough money for a caterer, so settle down and be satisfied with bread and juice.
We don't have enough money. Really? However, I have an important announcement to share with all of you. I know that one of you is planning to betray me to the Roman authorities.
Not me.
It's not me.
I wouldn't do that. You can't mean me, can you?
One of you that has been eating with me tonight will betray me.
You don't think it's me, do you?
You said so.
Pass me the bread. Yeah, pass me some apples, please.
We all know that the Passover meal, the reason we have gathered tonight, has deep meaning for us. Each of these items on the table has a special meaning and significance in relation to the lives of as Jews. and remembering how God freed us from slavery and led us through the wilderness to the promised land. But I have a new meaning for you tonight. Here's the bread. Take it. Eat it. This is my body. Here's the cup. Drink from it, all of you. This is a reminder of my blood, which is poured for all of you for the forgiveness of sins. Each time you eat the bread and drink from the cup, remember me.
These are new words to me. I wonder what they mean.
There have been so many things that Jesus has said during our time with him that I didn't understand at the moment. Maybe this is one of those times.
What is Jesus doing now? Why is he getting up and putting a towel around his waist?
Peter, come sit here. I'm going to wash your feet.
No way! My feet smell.
I don't care.
I have athlete's foot.
I don't care.
I have foot fungus.
Ew, but I don't care.
You will never act like a servant, Lord, and wash my feet.
Peter, sit back down. Unless you let me wash your feet, you will never understand what I have been doing all this time. And you won't be able to be part of this ministry.
Lord, I want to be with you. Just don't wash my feet then. Wash all of me. Get my arms, my back, my face, all of me.
No, Peter, you do not understand. One who has bathed does not need to be able to wash all over. I wash your feet because they are dusty and dirty. And it is an example to all of you, the greatest can kneel down and serve others. You are clean and just need this lesson. But there are others whose hearts need cleansing. So what I have done is an example to you, just as I have served, so that you serve others.
Tonight is a very important night. Let us all go to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray.
I'm coming. Of course I'll go. I'll never desert you.
Peter, you mean so well. But tonight, before the rooster crows in the morning, you will deny even knowing me 3 times.
I will not. I'll always be your faithful friend.
Me too!
Me too.
I guess we'll see. I'm going to go over there and pray for a while. You all sit here and pray or keep watch. My Father, if it is possible for these hardships to not come to me, please make it happen. That's what I want. But really, it's not what I want, but may your will be done. What? You couldn't stay awake for even an hour? Be in prayer so that you don't wander into temptation without even knowing you're in danger. There's a part of you that is so eager to serve God, but another part of you that is as lazy as an old dog sleeping by a fire. I hope you can be stronger this time. I'm gonna go pray again. My Father, if there is no other way than the pain that lies ahead, I'm ready. May your will be done. Can't you stay awake for even an hour?
Hey, we are trying to stay awake, but every time we pray, we fall asleep.
What is it that you're praying?
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to.
Well, that explains it. My Father, if there is no other way, I'm ready. May your will be done. I can't believe you're still sleeping. you tonight was an important night. My time has come. The Son of Man is about to be betrayed and handed over into the hands of sinners. Get up. Let's get going. My betrayer is here. Jesus is over here. When we finished dinner, he and the others came out to pray. I made my escape and came and got you. But he knows I'm going to betray him. He told everyone at dinner. So here's the plan. I'm going to go up to him and kiss him. You can then come up and arrest him. What you do with him after that is up to you.
Thank you. You've been very helpful, Judas.
Greetings, teacher. Greetings. Just do what you came here to do. What are you doing? You could hurt someone with that thing.
You don't know what they're going to do to you.
I know exactly what they're going to do to me.
Jesus, you're under arrest.
You know, there was nothing right about the way Jesus was arrested that was right or fair.
I know what you mean. There was no reason they had to use force.
There was no reason to arrest him, period. They were really scrambling to find enough to bring him up on charges.
So they took him to Caiaphas, the high priest. And Caiaphas was really frustrated with Jesus for not speaking. But then when Jesus did start to talk, he talked about being the Son of Man and sitting on the right hand of God. And so they charged Jesus with blasphemy.
The chief priests and the others just wanted Jesus put to death, but they couldn't scrape together enough evidence. So the next morning, they took him to Pilate, the governor, they took him to Pilate to ask him more questions. But again, he didn't fight back, which amazed Pilate. I think Pilate just wanted to release Jesus.
But it wasn't Pilate's decision. The crowd got to say which prisoner Pilate would release. Now, there were two Jesuses. There was Jesus Barabbas, and then there was the Jesus we've been talking about all this time.
It seemed like an obvious choice of who was the better one. Jesus Barabbas was a notorious criminal, had been in and out of jail for years and never amounted to anything.
And then there was Jesus the Messiah. He had fed people, he taught people, he healed them.
There were so many stories of Jesus healing people from limbs and lameness and even blindness and being paralyzed.
But Jesus the Messiah, he welcomed children. He was kind to other people, especially people other people would ignore or look down on.
You'd think the choice would be obvious, but not to the crowd. When they were asked, "Who do you want us to release?" they shouted, "Barabbas! Barabbas!"
And I wish Pilate hadn't asked the crowd the next question. He asked them what they wanted him to do with Jesus. And they yelled, "Crucify him, crucify him."
You know, I think the crowd had too much power. They forgot what Jesus had done, how he had taught them to love and to live love. They certainly didn't have any loving actions toward him.
Crowd behavior can be really scary. Sometimes people get all caught up in the energy of a crowd, and they'll do things that you wouldn't expect them to do.
I think that happens for individuals too. In strange situations, people react in ways that even they can't explain. Well, for example, Peter, he'd said that he would never deny knowing Jesus. But on that terrible night, he was asked 3 times to whether or not he was associated with Jesus by 3 different people. And each time he said no.
There's a trial going on in there. What do you think they're going to do with Jesus?
Ooh, doesn't sound good to me.
Hey, fella, aren't you one of those people that was with Jesus?
Who, me? No,
Yeah.
I don't know him. It's my nose. People are always confusing me with somebody else.
Yeah, well, what about that necklace that has a fish on it? All of Jesus's followers have that.
I don't know Jesus. This was a gift from my brother who gave it to me to remember a day that a fella taught us how to do a better job of fishing.
But I see this bracelet. WWJD. What would Jesus do, right?
Can't you people listen? I don't know the man. WWJD. That's Wild But Wonderful Junkyard Dogs. We're a group that takes in strays and cares for them.
Oh, that sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, I feel like a stray myself sometimes. Wish I could find someone to take care of me.
Oh. Oh no. Oh my God.
You think it's something I said?
Watching this retelling of the Passion of the Christ is really intense. You know, I kind of like to skip over this next part. I remember seeing Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ. It was so bloody and gruesome and painful. It made me almost sick watching it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Jesus was mocked and tortured and nailed to the cross, and that is not pleasant to see. I really hold on to the images of Jesus helping and serving and loving people. The images where he's abused and hurt my eyes and my heart.
It starts off with the soldiers mocking him and stripping him and dressing him up in a red robe as if he were really royalty.
I know, and the crown of thorns they gave him was just painful. Rubies and gems are one thing, but thorns are something else. They were only making fun of him, saying with a sneer, "Hail, King of the Jews."
And that march up the hill to Golgotha. Can you imagine carrying your own cross up a hill after you've been beaten, spit on, whipped, and mocked?
Yeah, I'm glad that Simon from Cyrene was willing to carry the cross for him. That took some of the weight off of Jesus. I wonder how Simon felt carrying the cross. Did he understand what was going on, or was he just following instructions? Or was he really trying to help Jesus?
I don't know, but everything seemed to happen so fast from there. The cross was set up with the other two crosses for bandits. Jesus was stripped and nailed to the cross in the middle. A sign was put up above him that said, "This is Jesus, King of the Jews." Even that sign mocked him. People who passed by and were out to watch the crucifixion shook their heads and shouted angry words at Jesus and taunted him. The chief priests and elders mocked him, saying, "He saved others, yet he cannot save himself." The bandits on either side of him also mocked him. Can you imagine how alone he must have felt? How he was hurting? How deflated he must have been that this is how it would be after years of healing and helping and caring for and loving others?
I know, it just breaks my heart. I'm glad we talked about it before watching it. That would be too hard to see again. My imagination is descriptive enough. So let's fast forward and watch the other parts.
Yep.
From noon until 3, the darkness came over the whole land. Around 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani?" That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" One of the bystanders ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs also were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. Many women were also there looking on from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee and have served and helped him. When those who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said, "Truly, this man was God's Son."
I am overcome with grief. I'm grateful that Pilate allowed me to take Jesus' body and give it a proper burial. I was able to find a linen cloth to wrap the abused body in. I had just finished preparing a tomb for myself to be used to later down the road, but I was more than willing to put him in it instead. I said a prayer as I did it. I finished by rolling a stone to block the entrance so that he could rest in peace. I just can't believe that this is the end of our journey together.
Pilate, Governor, sir, I need your help. You probably remember how when Jesus was alive, he said that on the third day he would rise from the dead. We both know that this is an impossibility. And so I can imagine that there might be some people who would assist him in rising from the dead by removing his body from the tomb. We need you to secure the tomb so that nobody could do that. Could you imagine the chaos that would happen if the people could say, look, Jesus is raised from the dead? We can't have that. Help us.
I agree. You will have a guard to keep watch over the tomb. Go, secure the tomb so that won't happen.
Hey Mary, thanks for meeting me here. It's so important to anoint Jesus' body, but we couldn't come on the Sabbath, and I sure didn't want to come alone.
I'm so glad you asked me. We've been with Jesus for so long. It's only right we give him a proper burial. I still can't believe he's gone.
Wait, somebody's been here. The stone is rolled away from the tomb. What's sitting there? It's so bright I can barely see. Like an angel.
Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised as he said. Come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead. Jesus is now going on to Galilee, and you will see him there. You, Mary and Mary, get to carry this message to his disciples.
It's just as he said. This is so exciting.
I'm so happy we get to see him again. Let's go tell the disciples.
I don't know what to do without Jesus. I'm going fishing. Does anyone want to come?
I want to. I'll come too.
Okay, there's your fishing pole.
My fishing pole. Okay, I'm fishing.
You're not catching anything.
Good morning. Did you catch anything for breakfast?
No.
Throw the net off the right side of the boat and see what happens.
Okay, let's throw the net off the right side.
This is incredible. We have a whole net of fish. It's Jesus. It's the Lord.
Breakfast is ready.
Thank you.
The fish is ready. And, I see what you say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you eat this because I am with you?
Peter, do you love me?
Yes, Lord, you know that I love you.
Feed my lambs. Peter, do you love me?
Yes, Lord, you know that I love you.
Tend my sheep. Peter, do you love me?
Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you.
Feed my sheep and follow me.
It was really good to see that story again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, as I said, it's one of my favorites, and it's so extremely important.
It is, and I'm glad we talked through the crucifixion because, it's way more gruesome than I would like to even think about.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I really like the ending where Peter gets to make up for denying Jesus. Yeah, I can't believe that when he should have spoken up for Jesus, he didn't. And when he said he'd never deny Jesus, he said never, but he did 3 times.
Yeah.
I think it's such a loving response that Jesus gives to Peter to give him a second chance.
Yeah, it is. And Jesus is always giving second chances.
Mm-hmm.
He gave second chances to do the right thing all the time. He gave second chances to people when they were forgiven. And he gave disciples second, third, and fourth chances to understand how to love and serve others.
You know, and sometimes I don't think the disciples caught on very quickly.
Yeah, I know. But I think Peter got it in the end. He was asked 3 times by Jesus whether he loved Jesus. And he said yes 3 times.
Well, Jesus gave him a way to love others.
Mm-hmm.
Feed the lambs, he said. Take care of my littlest. Take care of the needs of the hungry and the homeless and the lost and the disadvantaged. Jesus was always teaching people and encouraging them to love others in their words and actions. And that's why I love this story. God gave us Jesus. He gave us because he loved us. And in Jesus' story, he teaches us how to love each other. It's all about Jesus' love for our teaching, for our feeding and healing. It's all about how we are to love others, following Jesus' example. Yep, I love a good love story.
Oh, me too.
Hey, thanks for spending some time with me. I love it when we get a chance to spend some time together. And this was a great story to hear again.
Yeah, you know, now I feel like going out in the world and spreading love all over the place.
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when he rose up from the dead? Were you there when he rose up from